Good morning, first patrons. Watch me eat a banana. Some notes before recording. I have a story to tell.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, I think I'm in the wrong. Yep. You're going video this morning?
For now. I want to give people something to look at. What better than this acne face?
What are you
What's
eating?
going on? What am I eating? A banana.
Oh, okay.
That's all I eat for breakfast anymore. As I try to lose some lbs.
Gotcha. How was the trip home?
It was good. I mean, I drove both ways, so. But on the way home, my brother came back, and instead of driving straight through, we just stayed overnight in the Pittsburgh area. So
Okay.
that made it a little easier.
Do you know people there or?
No, just got a hotel. I wouldn't want to impede on anybody, and plus, I just want to stay like right off the highway.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up in that area, so kind of nice. I mean, not well. I kind of grew up there. I was there till I was like 9 or 10.
Oh.
So it's kind of nice to stop in, check on the area. Last day, my Christmas tree is going to be up. See it right over there, the snowman.
I do. Yeah. I don't see
Coming
the
down.
snowman as much.
Next year, I should have it right behind me.
Good morning.
Hello, Laura.
Hi.
What's up?
Supposed to be on video. I'm kidding.
Actually, when I woke up this morning, I was like, I hope we don't have to be on video. I was like, I hope I didn't miss something.
No. That said, we'll do those Google Hangouts on video once a month.
Yeah.
And you can turn off the camera when that's finished.
We look fancy for those.
Yeah, well.
I won't.
New year, new me. I'm resolved to like sit up a little straighter in bed.
I thought you were gonna go all the way out of bed, but still in bed.
Still in bed. You know, I thought I might actually put a desk in my room and work from there, but after yesterday, what I did all day was rearrange my room a couple times, and I hated every alternative that I just put it back, everything back where it was.
Yeah, I can't really picture a desk in there, so
yeah,
I can see your troubles.
It's true. I just with like the two bookshelves, the bureau, and the TV shelf, it's difficult to. Yeah, I tried a couple options, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just turns out the way that I first originally put it is the best. So
I
Yeah.
think by the time we hit the end of the recording, you are going to be back in the same old position.
I thought you were going to say he'll be asleep.
no, I am wide awake. I'm excited for 400.
Me too.
Me too.
I actually have an important
Mhm.
question. Where is Laura going to be in the intro lineup? Is she last?
I mean, yeah, I'm the most recent host. That makes the most sense to me.
Okay. Just throwing it out there.
It works for me.
Mike and Eric probably don't want to lose their positions, it sounds like. So
Well, yeah, also,
and I'm not giving
yeah,
up mine.
it doesn't make sense to me for me to be somebody who's been on longer than me.
I guess. Yeah, I've never seen the order as like a seniority thing.
No, it's not. Yeah, but
But like, kinda. I don't know.
Kind of. A little bit. I don't know.
it's you know how they have movie billing. You know, a big budget movie will be, and also John Malkovich. You know, at the end of it.
Yeah.
Or I can say, and also I'm
And also me.
And
featuring
introducing newcomer
Yeah,
Laura
introducing.
Thompson. Yeah. The and credit is sort of a position of power too. Mike, are you sure you're okay giving up that the and credit?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
and Golden Globe nominee Laura T.
Ooh, I like that.
By the
We have a
way,
couple-
actually, that should be noted to you guys. Laura wants to keep her last name hidden on the internet, so just say T.
Okay, because our listeners still know her as Laura Thompson.
Yeah, that's fine. But just in terms of introducing myself, I'll use T.
Yeah. Well, actually, in the intro we just say first names anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So
I just wanted to throw that out there for any future.
Yeah, it's good as a reminder. I'm
Make a
going
little
to-
post-it note. I know I have a post-it note right here. I have a heart around it. Laura T. Heart. Arrow through it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do that.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna-
you know, Mugglecast isn't really something that I'm concerned about.
Oh, the things you discuss on here aren't controversial or
Correct.
offensive or
Yeah.
anything? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it was just because your controversial opinions on Millennial.
Yeah, that and some of the content.
Yeah.
Right. Understood. I'm never getting a real job anywhere. It's over for me.
I
No
don't want to
chance.
grow up. I'm Toys R Us.
Sometimes I'm like, I'll work at Starbucks maybe if it all doesn't work out because that's right across the street. And
There you go. I mean, if you need to make a little extra coin, you know.
yeah, side hustle at Starbucks.
I mean, that's
Quick, I'll be back.
not uncommon.
No, I guess not.
How does my audio sound? Because I know
Sounds great.
last time we recorded, I was kind of hot.
Oh yeah, you were. You sound fine right now.
Okay.
I think I only know. I'm trying to think if I recognize that or if I heard that on the Google stream. I guess I did. Did you put up all your egg board?
So no, it is not all completely up yet,
Mm.
but it's enough that I think it gets the job done. So my thing is like, obviously you don't need to foam the entire room in order to soundproof it, but from an aesthetic perspective, I want to. But we
Yeah.
also just decided that we're going to be switching the bedroom and the office. So it's all going to move anyway.
What? Oh, that's interesting. Why is that? It's one room bigger.
Yeah, so the bedroom is larger and it also has the direct cable connection that runs through my closet in there. But we were just trying to figure out like when Mark moves in, where we're going to fit both of our desks and everything. And the office just isn't big enough for that and for what we want to do in it. And we
Mhm.
realized that we don't really use the bedroom. Like it's not a place where we like just hang out. So it's like, oh, we sleep in here. So let's make the smallest room the room. And then we turn the current bedroom into an office.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to come down and help design these new rooms.
You should. It's gonna be really cool. So we are gonna foam the whole room, and it's the foam I got is this like dark charcoal color. And we're gonna leave like a thin panel open all the way around the room and put an LED strip
Ooh.
all the way around on the walls. It's gonna look like a YouTube professional studio. It's gonna be great.
That's cool because Mark has aspirations to do some streaming. Is that why you're doing
Yes,
that?
that is
Okay.
correct. And also between all the podcasting, sometimes we do, a lot of video work, and
Yeah.
it always makes me cringe if I like when I would record in my office. I'm like, oh, it looks kind of boring in here.
Yeah.
You
I'd
know?
like to get back to doing video for the podcast, maybe
Mhm.
like regularly, because I think it helps me host better as well. Because I feel like I need to be sitting up straight and like presenting myself, and I don't know. I just think I come off better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're um just going to be more prepared. I feel like I'm always better prepared if I'm on video.
And I think we can if we see each other, we actually know when one of us wants to talk, and that helps a lot
Yeah.
too.
Well, and you can also gauge the reactions of what
Yeah.
everybody's saying to what you said, right?
Right.
Or like know how to call me and Pam out for being on our phones
Yeah.
when we should be on the show.
That's a great point. Excuse me. All right. Well, are we ready to start?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Eric come back?
I'm back just now. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. So everybody start recording.
Mhm.
Are you getting a backup just in case?
Always.
Always. Oh,
It's built into my recording. I can't record my voice without also doing the backup.
yeah. Mine is still going. Counter's counting, and the gray thing is going. So good.
All right. So same thing as a couple weeks ago, Laura. On the fourth beat, we're gonna say clap.
Okay.
Doing it 2 times. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap.
Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Clap.
I didn't say it the second time. I was too busy laughing.
That was a Care of I'm taking these Care of vitamins now. One of them is like a fish, and when I burp after taking them, my burp smells like fish.
Oh, is it fish oil?
Yeah,
Is it Omega?
yeah, I guess so. Welcome to MuggleCast episode 400, a landmark episode in our first of 2019. I'm Andrew.
I'm Eric.
Micah.
And I'm Laura.
Oh, as if today's episode wasn't special enough, Laura is also joining us full time beginning today.
I'm so
Welcome,
excited
Laura.
to be here, guys.
Good. We're all excited to have you here. We're all excited that you're here. That's what I should have said. What is it like coming back to MuggleCast after all this time?
It feels like homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it feels like a very full circle moment because when I started the show, we were all in high school, and now I've just turned 30. So I feel like I'm at a very different point in my life, but Harry Potter has always been the constant.
Oh,
So it's really nice to be back.
yeah. You only turned 30 like 2 weeks ago. How was the birthday?
It was good. It was low key. My boyfriend got me a Hogwarts Great Hall Lego set, and we spent the whole day like gradually putting it together and watching episodes of The West Wing.
Nice.
It was
Wow.
really great. It was fun.
Was that a gift related to coming back to MuggleCast?
I don't think so. He just knows I love Harry Potter. So
Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay,
If that was me, I would have been like, since you're coming back, here's a Hogwarts castle. I don't know.
And actually, we took these really great, like staged progression pictures of the building process. And I
Oh,
would love to share those with your patrons.
please
Does,
do.
does it do
Yeah.
like a time lapse? Does it work like you can see it slowly stack up or something?
No, it's not like that. It's more like stylistic pictures of the growth of the Great Hall, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, cool.
Very cool.
That
Yeah, I
sounds
look
like
forward
an
to it.
ideal birthday, to be honest, right? Legos
It was
and West Wing.
great.
You could almost even frame it as reconstruction after the Battle of Hogwarts.
That's right. That's right.
Laura
There's a
was the one
basilisk and
responsible.
everything.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
it has been a couple weeks since our last episode. Christmas has passed. Did anybody get any other Christmas or holiday gifts? related to Harry Potter?
Yeah. Do you guys know Harry Potter Codenames? Or do you know the game Codenames? They did a Harry Potter edition. It's awesome. And cooperative too. So instead of battling each other, trying to trick each other or give more clues than the other team, it's actually co-op. So it's kind of cool.
I saw Harry Potter Codenames in the store a few weeks ago. I was shocked that there was a Harry Potter one now, so I bought that as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's a really fun game. If anybody's looking for a good card / kind of like a board game, sort of. Yeah, I guess it's a card game. Definitely pick that up.
Mhm.
I got a couple of those Pottery Barn teen.
What's so funny?
Pottery Barn teen. They're not for teens though. This like at-home merchandise. I got the gold animal hooks, and I got the fake bookshelf that like it looks like it's a single shelf of books, but you can pull it down and there's a hidden compartment inside.
Mm.
And I also got a very unique gift. My brother likes to give unique gifts, and he was in New York probably about a month ago, and he was out drinking, whatever. And he takes the train home. It's like 1 or 2 a.m. And the entire time he's taking the train back down to New Jersey, he's staring at this poster for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets to his stop. He rips it off the wall. And he gave it to me for Christmas. And it says winner 6 Tony Awards, including Best Play. And it's got a picture of Harry, played by whatever that guy's name is.
Jamie Parker.
Jamie Parker, thank you. It's a great poster. It's beautiful. It's like 3 feet long, I would say.
New Jersey Transit could not be reached for comment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is your brother now banned from taking New Jersey Transit?
Now banned. I mean, did they really need a poster advertising the play? It's making plenty of money. It didn't need this poster's help.
You know, I gotta say, I have slightly more chill than your brother. I've been eyeing some of the CTA maps. You know, the last 10 years I've been in Chicago. Yeah. The really nice one that's the grid of all Chicago and all the lines. And I haven't yet ripped it off the wall, but I always kind of want to.
I have been thinking of doing that as well. Let's go together. And we'll both take one and run.
You know, I approve of this. This is a very budget-friendly gift-giving idea.
Yeah, my brother didn't pay for this.
Yeah.
A great gift. And yet I was so surprised.
Yeah.
I told him, though, I'm not going to hang this on my wall. Like, I like Harry Potter, but I don't love The Cursed Child. So, but I'm going to keep it. And I just put a photo in our Google.
That's in actually pretty good condition for being on a train.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the edges aren't even ripped from where he pulled it up. Was it in a glass case or something?
I don't know. I don't know. He did a great job, though.
It's ready made for you to own this, though.
Andrew, you know they are also advertising this play on the top of taxi cabs. So if you want me to try and rip one off,
collect the whole set
of transportation advertising for Cursed Child.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is cool. So I'll hold on to it. I also have to tell you guys, I was home and catching up with my brother, and I had heard that he had been going to New York. Actually, I think this is why he was in New York when he took this poster. He's been hanging out with a girl there, and they had actually met through Twitter, which is, you know, what the kids do these days. They meet through Twitter. My brother has actually met multiple girls through Twitter. But so he told me that on one of their first dates, he knew she was a big Harry Potter fan. So he says to her, "So do you listen to any Harry Potter podcasts?" And she just goes, "Yeah, your brothers."
Yeah.
He's like, "What? Wait, what?" Because she didn't know. He didn't know that she listened to MuggleCast for like weeks. So it turns out they met through Twitter because she follows me on Twitter. Her name is Chelsea. And she saw that Ryan liked one of my tweets. And then for whatever reason, she started following him. And then he started following her. And long story short, MuggleCast has started another relationship. It's just so beautiful.
Aw.
Yeah.
On the subject of Harry Potter gifts, though, did you guys participate in our patrons' Secret Santa?
No,
No,
Did you see the posts that were?
I did.
I did.
Okay. I did participate this year, and I have to say I got a great gift from my Secret Santa, Asim, and I really just want to thank Brittany Parks for taking the initiative, setting that up. It's the second year running. We had 93 people participate in the Secret Santa this year over on our patrons. Well, it was on Patreon. It was open to all of Patreon, but it was a big success, and I just want to thank Brittany because she kind of handled all the coordination using Elfster, and it was kind of a logistical nightmare to have 90 separate people, randomly getting addresses and all this other stuff, but she handled it all. So I just want to thank her because that has concluded. If you participated and did not get a gift, you got to take it up with Elfster. But yeah, it's
Always blaming the elves, Eric.
'Tis the season of giving. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a really, really wonderful thing.
Yeah, definitely
she
a great job by her. And while I didn't participate, I did get one of those heat-changing mugs, coffee mugs for the holidays.
Oh, like the Marauders map.
Yeah, exactly that one.
That's cool.
I love that one.
Who was that from?
From a coworker, and then my
Oh.
brother also got me one, which is a Bowtruckle picket.
Oh,
It
okay.
must have been a popular item this holiday season.
Nice. All right. Well, to kick off Laura's new tenor on the show here, I don't know, new time on the show here, we asked patrons, what do you want to know about Laura in regards to her relationship with Harry Potter?
Laura's dating Harry.
Always.
Is he the boyfriend that got you the Legos? Okay. It's a secret.
So wait, was this first question from you, Eric? The Eric?
From me? No.
No,
Okay. Just
it was a
checking.
different Eric.
If I want to know something from Laura, I'm just going to text her.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. All right, so Laura, everybody wants to know more about you, and I think we've had many more people come onto the show since you were last on. So this is a good opportunity for people who don't know you to get to know you. Here's our first question. Eric wrote, "If Universal asked you to design a Harry Potter themed ride, what would you build?"
I love this question because I have always felt that the Department of Mysteries was a location in the Potter books that never really got delved into as much as it could have been. So I would love to see them create some kind of Department of Mysteries, either ride or like walkthrough experience, so that we could learn more about it. Because as we've seen, the wizarding world is branching out, and the medium that we use to learn about it now isn't just books anymore. We're learning new information all the time through movies. So what better way to learn more about this location than to actually experience it?
I love this idea. It would be canon.
Yeah.
That would actually be a fun twist for the theme parks these days. Like,
Mhm.
okay, you want to know more about Harry Potter? Well, you got to come to the theme park to find out.
Yeah. Smart marketing.
Next question is from Sydney. You get to choose to read the Harry Potter series from a different character's perspective. Everything else stays the same. Who do you choose and why?
Snape. Like, how could you not choose Snape?
Whoa.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, because he holds so many keys, right? There's so much knowledge that he had that we didn't as readers. And we got to kind of do that a little bit. I mean, we got to see certain things from his perspective, especially through like looking back at his memories, like his worst memory. But I would love to see his perspective of Harry as he's growing through those 7 years.
It's
And
sort
we
of-
would probably be able to sympathize with him.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know that I want that more.
Aw.
Sympathize with- Well, it's like those people who read Harry Potter and are like, yeah, Harry is this white privileged, useless jock who gets all of the attention. It's just like, I'm sorry, that just doesn't, that's not my read of Harry Potter. But if you read it from Snape's perspective, he absolutely would just like those moments in the books when he's shitting all over Harry and all of the Gryffindors and is being a dick to Hermione for her teeth. Like, I don't want to be more sympathetic to him in those moments.
Was Snape able to use that spell to clean up the shit on Harry after he shit on Harry?
I don't know. Where do vanish objects go?
Shyam says, what are your thoughts on Joe changing canon in the Fantastic Beasts movies without regard for what came before in the books, in the Harry Potter books, specifically Dumbledore being a DADA teacher, apparition on school grounds, and McGonagall appearing? I'd put an asterisk on this one saying we don't know for sure if a lot of this is changed canon per se.
Yeah. I do have feelings. I think I talked about this on the last episode I was on after we all saw Fantastic Beasts. Initially, it's bothersome to me and also takes me out of the movie when things like that happen, especially since Joe's world is so carefully documented and she has a fan base of people who know the books inside and out. These kinds of things feel like they could have been better considered. And I guess that's something that surprises me when I see the changes. That said, Andrew is correct that we're not 100% sure at this point if they're actually canon breaks. But yeah, it definitely bugs me.
So I'm betting that you were somebody who didn't know that McGonagall was going to make a little appearance in the Crimes of Grindelwald. Did that take you out of the movie when you saw that?
So I had actually read an article that spoiled it for me.
Oh, okay.
So I knew she was going to be there. So I was already kind of irked by it. But it still took me out of the movie because I was like, this does not make any sense. Like, the timeline is not even close.
Yeah. Faith says, if you have pets, what would their Hogwarts houses be?
Yeah, so I have a scrappy, tenacious little terrier named Canella, and she would 100% be a Gryffindor. She is, her personality is such that she will dive headfirst into any precarious situation, which reminds me of Gryffindors.
Okay.
So that's her.
And Josette says, what is your Harry Potter fanfic OTP? One true pair.
Mm-hmm. Harry and Luna.
Harry and Luna.
I always, like, even when book 5 first came out, I was like so excited because I was like, ooh, J.K. Rowling is setting this up. Like, Harry and Luna have so much in common. They can both see the Thestrals. They're going to get together. They both have this weird relationship with death. And then, that didn't happen. But I hold a flame for it to this day because I feel like they have a lot in common and they would make a good pairing. And Luna would really ground Harry because she doesn't, she sees him for who he is and she's not awed by his role as the chosen one.
Yeah.
And also she's seen so much weird. Do we curse on this show?
Well, Eric just said the S word, so.
Okay. She's seen so much weird shit in her life that, like, being with Harry would not faze her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, Laura, I thought you were going to mention Dobby and Narcissa as your one true pairing.
I mean, there were a lot of really interesting character pairings that I read when I worked on MuggleNet fanfiction. And I think that was one of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, for listeners maybe that didn't hear a couple episodes back when you were on, we got a really creative voicemail from somebody who made a very strong case for Dobby being Draco's father.
Yes. I mean, why not?
Sure, why the hell not? All right, well, thank you for answering those questions, Laura.
Yeah.
By the way, Michelle, who's listening live on Patreon, says, don't put that mug in the dishwasher. Ruined mine.
Oh, no. That is a good tip. Thank you, Michelle.
Like the MuggleCast mug, it sounds like you need to hand wash that thing. So we had to bring this up. Harry Potter was in the spotlight late last week for some people would say all the wrong reasons. On Friday, Pottermore tweeted a fact for National Trivia Day. Apparently, it was National Trivia Day. And just seemingly out of the blue, Pottermore just tweets, Hogwarts didn't always have bathrooms. Before adopting Muggle plumbing methods in the 18th century, witches and wizards simply relieved themselves wherever they stood and vanished the evidence. Hashtag National Trivia Day. So, turns out this has been on Pottermore for a while. J.K. Rowling herself wrote this fact in a profile about the Chamber of Secrets, but she only mentioned it in passing. It wasn't the focus of the article. So nobody really ever spoke about it before. It didn't go viral. But this tweet was just seemingly out of the blue, and it highlighted such a random, kind of disgusting fact that everybody was talking about it on Twitter. A lot of people were kind of disappointed that this was shared, and it kind of plays into a criticism that has been made over the past couple of years that J.K. Rowling is sharing too much information about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I love it, though. I mean, if we're going to obsess over every little detail in the Harry Potter series, why not look at things that some people might see as more disgusting? Don't we want to know everything?
For me, I just don't know what it says about our first episode of the new year and our first episode of the 400s that this is the news story that we're covering. Like, what does that say for the rest of the year? This is the first one we're talking about Hogwarts students pooping where they stand.
We're just following Pottermore by J.K. Rowling's guidance. We are just talking about words from J.K. Rowling.
I know.
I'm just wondering who made the decision that this is what they wanted to put on Twitter on National Trivia Day. I mean, I'm sure they could have come up with something that was a little bit less shitty for.
See what you did there.
I had a shake my head moment. I think I was walking Brooklyn where I do a lot of my thinking. I was like, I can't believe we know this before we know what happened to Lavender Brown.
Yep.
I know.
But let's think about this. So Hogwarts students very early on were peeing and pooping and then doing these spells to get rid of it. At what point do you learn this spell? Is it in Dumbledore's introduction or whoever was the headmaster at that time?
Well, and what if you're bad at it? What if you're bad at vanishing?
Yeah.
Is it a difficult spell?
I hope the headmaster would give them teach them the spell right after the welcoming feast.
Yeah, and I'm also curious, what? So it's a vanishing spell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't a vanishing spell work by transporting whatever that item is to a different location?
Oh yeah,
where are you sending it? What are you doing with it?
Maybe that was the original purpose for the vanishing cabinet. It would go to the vanishing cabinet, and then Filch or whoever was in Filch's role at the time would take out the garbage.
Well, I think what happens when that's a question on the Ravenclaw common room door. One of them is, where do vanished objects go? And I think the answer is into non-being. So they go into they become one with the universe, essentially, again. So when you conjure something, it's partly made up of your poop.
So yeah, the universe is shitty. It's basically what you're saying.
There's far more. It's like in the real world too. There's just far more, like in the ocean. That's probably about 40% fish poop. And just never think about it.
What also cracks me up about this is where would you use the bathroom if there were no bathrooms? Would you always find a private spot to go to the bathroom?
It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You'd be walking down the corridor. Oh, I have to go. I'm going to go. Bathrooms have existed since Roman times, since before Roman. Bathrooms have existed for longer than Hogwarts has. So it does not make sense. There would not have been some rudimentary outhouse type bathrooms, pits in which to, before the 1800s when the plumbing was
Well, and the thing that freaks me out about it is like these people all wear robes, right? So I'm just imagining you wear these big billowing robes, you could theoretically be having a conversation, and as long as um your self-relief is not a particularly like loud or gaseous one,
Oh
you
Jesus!
you could theoretically do it while you're having a conversation with somebody. They wouldn't know, and then you just quietly vanish it and it's gone.
What about the smell too? It just none of this makes any sense. I think you're right, Andrew, that this was meant as a joke. I think that's how I read it. Like the excerpt that this is from is about the Chamber of Secrets. It talks about how the chamber was almost discovered when they put in the girls' bathroom. Because the trap door was like real close to where they wanted to build it. Like that's mildly interesting. And then as sort of an aside, she's like, well, before this time, they just pooped where they stood. It's like it was never meant to be singled out and like put on social media for National Trivia Day. Let me tell you that.
I don't think it was a joke when J.K. Rowling wrote it. I think she just had it in her head for some reason. Because why would she? I mean, if it's on Pottermore, if it's written by J.K. Rowling, it's canon. She wrote it. It's canon. And she doesn't joke about canon. Canon's very serious.
All the time. No. The narration of the first Harry Potter book is extremely jokey. It's very like, oh, I don't know when this would have happened, or Harry never knew after that. You know, it's just kind of, it's one of those fun things. It's like, it's world building. She got to enjoy herself. Yeah.
It's plumbing building.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have ever added bathrooms to Hogwarts. They should have just kept it as is, where you just pee and poop wherever you want and then clean it up, because that's valuable space in the castle that's now taken up by bathrooms. They could have used that to build more dungeons to lock up kids who don't clean up their waste. And
But
you know that
Yeah.
happened.
But if you didn't have bathrooms, then the entire plot of the Chamber of Secrets would have been ruined.
Could have been the Dungeon of Secrets. I don't know. The Common Room of Secrets.
Here's what the Rock Snob had to say about this on Twitter. Harry Potter magic spells are primarily based on Latin. Latin spoken by Romans. Romans had plumbing. Bathrooms exist when plumbing not available. Outhouses, chamber pots. What is the Hogwarts chamber pot collection for then? Did somehow all those chamber pots only appear after plumbing? Question mark, all caps. It doesn't make sense. I'm calling bullshit. Not people shit. I'm calling bullshit.
So I guess J.K. Rowling didn't notice, or maybe she's busy. Actually, it looks like she hasn't tweeted in over a week. Hope she's okay. But she has not responded to the Pottermore tweet that's gone viral. I feel like she would have something witty to add if she did know. So maybe she will eventually say something. And listeners, I promise you, we will keep you up to date on the situation.
It just, for me, it brings up questions about washing again, because we always talk about or occasionally go back to how the Hogwarts students keep themselves or even their clothing clean. It's not addressed.
Mm-hmm.
So what about the rest of the wizarding community? We're talking just about Hogwarts, but if Hogwarts doesn't have bathrooms, does that mean no place in the wizarding community has bathrooms?
No. I just think for whatever reason, Hogwarts didn't have them until quote unquote late.
It's just ridiculous to think, because like, okay, if you were wizard born,
what if you're a squib?
Oh yeah, well then you just
fill up your trousers and go throw them in the Great Lake.
Muggles have had bathrooms for centuries, longer centuries, and it just, if you were Muggle born, you would grow up using the bathroom. You just would. And then to go to a castle, to go to a Scottish castle that doesn't have bathrooms, if you go there in the 1700s, that would just be weird and archaic. I don't know.
We keep talking about this leaked Harry Potter video game that's apparently coming, and that's set in like the early 1800s or something. I hope you have to vanish your own pee and poop as part of the game. Yeah, we always complain about these video games. You never see, or movies, you never see characters use the bathroom or anything. Is this even realistic? And here's a way to add some realism to it.
What if you're a professor and you're teaching class?
Well, hopefully you do it before or after.
Hey, just sometimes when you got to go.
Can we all admit though that this spell would be handy? Like we'll sit here podcasting for 2 hours and I'm drinking water and I'm drinking coffee. By an hour in, I'm ready to use the bathroom. It would be so handy to just go sitting here and then clean it up, no problem.
They do
For me,
make diapers, Andrew.
Oh yeah.
They do. Please send diapers to the MuggleCast PO box.
Please don't. Please don't.
Please. Eric checks that. I lost my key. I can't anymore.
You lost your key?
Yeah, I told
Oh.
you when I was moving from my last place, I had the spare key.
Oh, that's right.
I could not remember what it was for, and I insisted to the office that they take it because I was convinced it was for them. No, in hindsight, I realized it was the MuggleCast PO box.
I'll make another copy.
Thank you. By the way, one last thing on this. Agata, who's listening live, I guess from Germany, she says this story was in the German news.
Jeez.
Making headlines around the world. J.K. Rowling.
There's actually one more tweet here I wanted to read. It's from Joel, who said, I remember an old episode pre-book 7 where you were talking about the Room of Requirement, and Jamie asked why it turned into a bathroom for Dumbledore, and either Andrew or Micah asked if wizards could just zap the pee out. Guess they were right.
Well, we saw this
Wow.
coming. What can I say?
What's the spell, though?
I'm gonna Google it.
Diaperovana show.
Somebody
Pee-poofo
tweet J.K.
goodbye.
Rowling and ask her.
Yeah, we need to know.
Evanesco,
Oh,
of
great.
course. Yeah, it's a transfiguration spell used to vanish both animate and inanimate objects into non-being, which is to say everything. Evanesco.
So this is a mailbag episode. We're starting the year hearing from our listeners because you guys are who brought us to this point, and keeping the spotlight on Laura. Eric went into the MuggleCast email and searched Laura, and we have some emails now addressed to or about Laura from over the years that we never responded to.
Oh my gosh, I'm blushing right now.
Years ago. Years. These emails are from 2013, 2012, and 2011.
This first one from 2013 is from Emma in Minneapolis. She was 21 at the time, so she's now. Oh, she's at tomorrow's her birthday. Oh no. That's the day she sent the email. What am I thinking?
Oh, anniversary. Look at that.
Yeah, almost 6 years to the day. Yeah, so she was 21. She might be around 27 now. My name is Emma. I write and intern from Being Geek Chic. She wanted help in writing a post, Laura, and I think we're a little late, 6 years too late.
Yeah.
But she had these questions for Laura? Am I
Yeah.
missing
Emma ran the Being
yeah.
Geek Chic Lady Geek of the Week segment.
Wow.
It was a column, and she asked Laura if Laura would be interested in being featured as Lady Geek of the Week.
Oh, well, sorry we missed the email.
Yep. Sorry, Emma.
Well, Laura, now you are our Lady Geek of the Week.
But
Oh, shucks.
but I wanted to pose these are some good questions. So I actually checked, and beinggeekchic.com is a really cool website. It focuses on women in business, and it's really, really good stuff. Unfortunately, the Lady Geek of the Week column has ended. So we did miss it. Yeah, the website's still there. You can actually view all the past Lady Geeks of the Week. But the questions were, I found these questions to be interesting, and I want to know what Laura
can bring it back. She's going to start it fresh in 2019.
Yeah.
Exclusively on MuggleCast.com.
So, Laura, when was your Potter passion first sparked? Emma wants to know.
So, very fittingly, I received the first 3 books as a present for my 11th birthday.
Aw.
Yeah, and that's where it began. I mean, it was just one of those instant, I picked up the first book and was immediately hooked. It's so easy to get drawn into J.K. Rowling's narrative style. So, yeah, that's where it all began.
It also kind of feels full circle because right now you can buy the first 3 Harry Potter books illustrated in a set today. That only just came out recently.
That'll be like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Because they're heavy books. Laura, what inspires you in the world?
A lot of things. I think what inspires me the most, though, is passion. And when I say passion, I mean looking at other people's passion for the work that they're involved in or the causes that they're involved in, seeing that human element brought into people's lines of work, into their personal lives, into whatever they choose to put out there on the internet. I love following YouTubers who are into things that I'm not necessarily into because I feel like it helps me learn a lot and helps me gain perspective. So I think the fact that now, especially like nerd passion and geek passion, is such an in thing, and you can follow anyone who's nerdy about any subject you could possibly think of, is helping to unite people and sort of helping to bridge a lot of gaps that we have socially. We obviously still have a lot of work to do, but I think ultimately at the root of this is it's helping people be more empathetic towards each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, passion.
Well said.
That's a good answer. The next question, if you could take any Harry Potter character out for a drink, whom would you choose and what would you drink?
Hermione.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely Hermione. I feel like I have always felt like we would be kindred spirits. Usually when I was reading the books, I could always understand her perspective, even when she was being difficult. And I could oftentimes put myself in her shoes. I would love to talk with her because I feel like we we could have a very constructive conversation, especially now that we're both adults, about being, a professional woman in the workplace and sort of like the opportunities and challenges that come as a result of that. And I think my preferred drink would be gin and tonic. I don't know about hers, but
Classy.
that's what I would want.
Yeah. And what are you up to when you are not recording MuggleCast?
Nothing. I don't have a life outside of this.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I also record another podcast called Millennial with Andrew. So a lot of my sort of like outside of my day job life is kind of focused on, trying to grow my career as a podcaster. I also live in Atlanta, so I spend a lot of time in the city. I have a very cute dog and an awesome boyfriend who I spend a lot of time with. I like to go try like new restaurants and go bar hopping places. I love traveling. I usually try to travel to a different city every year. This year we're going to Seattle, so very excited for that.
Can I come?
Yeah, why not? Everyone comes.
That hesitation definitely convinced me.
And two more questions here from Emma.
Mhm.
What book is currently on your nightstand?
Becoming by Michelle Obama.
Oh, have you read it before?
No. I'm towards the end of it now, though.
Is it good?
It's really good.
Cool.
Does Michelle Obama add to canon on Twitter? Does she talk about bathrooms on Twitter?
No.
Or on Potter?
No, I will
Obama
say
more?
I appreciate that because it provides a really intimate look sort of into the lives of America's best family, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And she's so real and so down to earth, and she's not afraid to talk about issues that she's had over the course of her life and like difficult patches that she's been through, or difficulties in her marriage. So I appreciate how forthcoming she is, although she has never addressed bathroom habits.
Oh,
So
well,
It's
she
for the
should think
better.
about that for her next book.
And what would you tell your 13-year-old self, Laura?
ooh, so many things. It's one of those like if only you knew then what you know now type situations. Apart from giving myself a list of people to absolutely not date, like don't date these people. Please just don't. Like you're gonna waste your time. I was incredibly self-conscious as a teenager. I don't think that is an uncommon narrative, especially for teenage girls. And I would probably just tell myself it's all gonna work out. I wouldn't tell myself not to worry or not to be preoccupied by these things, because it's always really annoying when someone tells you not to worry. You're like, oh, well, why didn't I think of that? But it would be comforting, I think, to be able to tell my 13-year-old self, it's all going to work out. It's all going to be fine.
And tying that into Harry Potter, I think Harry Potter was a source of comfort for a lot of us, and it helped us build confidence.
Definitely.
And the Harry Potter fandom did as well, because we made friends that we never would have made otherwise. I mean, all my friends I made through the internet.
Yeah, pretty much me too, to be honest.
It was so severe that I continue to only have friends I made through the internet. Do not know how to meet friends in person. Anyway.
And that concludes our email from Emma.
Thanks, Emma. Sorry that we missed your article or your column.
We will also be publishing these answers in our new MuggleCast column, Geek Chic Girl of the Week, or whatever it was called.
You guys, I just looked this up on the Harry Potter Wikia, not to bring it back to the whole vanishing your poo thing, but the vanishing spell is one of the most complicated spells, and they teach it at the ordinary wizarding level. So in year 5 is when they teach vanishing, according to Harry Potter.
So what do the younger students use?
I know, dude. It just this doesn't add up. This is not adding up.
Okay. One more email here. Well, no, a couple more. Just briefly, this is from Connor. He wrote this in 2012. In an episode way back, Laura accurately predicted that Voldemort would light Nagini's head on fire, even if she said it jokingly. I about jumped out of my seat when she said it. That makes me wonder if you will ever do a show on what theories you guys had with sound bites and how wrong or right they were. I think that would be fun.
Neville's head on fire, not Nagini's.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Did that happen?
I don't remember this.
Well, this didn't happen in the books.
Yeah, it did. Because didn't he put the Sorting Hat on him and light it on fire or something?
Oh my god.
Oh.
I don't remember predicting this, is what I'm saying.
Well, I thought Connor was just loosely referring to Neville killing Nagini, but maybe not.
Interesting.
As for the question, will we ever do a show where we revisit the theories we had? I would love to do that. It would just take an incredible amount of time. Just finding these theories and then finding the clips and all that, it would be a ton of work. But when people do write in, like Connor did 7 years ago almost with this, or like that tweet Micah referenced earlier, it's great to hear when people remember theories we made that ended up being true.
Yeah, I'll just turn this one to the listeners and say, hey, if you are listening to Old Muggle, we know people do listen to Old MuggleCast, when they tweet us and things. And if one of us or if a former host has made a prediction that you think is interesting or funny or actually came true, probably in book 7, because we started this podcast after book 6 was out, then let us know. Email us and tweet us, and I'll try and keep tabs on the MuggleCast Gmail account and start collecting some of these things. So give us the episode number, timestamp if you can, and maybe we'll work towards doing one of those episodes.
Yeah, I think we should pay somebody to do that for us.
I mean, it's over 600 hours of content. Go through.
Well, I wouldn't expect them to go through all 4. Well, maybe I would. I don't know. We can think about that more.
Yeah.
Final one. This is from Sarah. She was 14 back in 2012 from Rockville, Maryland. And she was writing about Pottermore. And then she said, I am in love with all of you. And my best friend Eve used to do a theater class with Laura. I was at sleepaway camp with her last summer and was telling Eve about MuggleCast and naming all the hosts, and got to Laura. She realized that she knew her. I started screaming and crying. I cannot live without you guys. From Sarah. Laura, do you remember this?
No.
You ever take a theater class, Laura? Do you remember Eve?
No. Well, so here's where I'm a little bit confused, because if Sarah was 14 in 2012, that means she's 21 now. I don't know that I'm 30, so I don't know that we would have been in school at the same time. I was in drama club in like middle school, and it's possible I was in there with someone named Eve. But yeah, I don't remember this.
Sarah, I hate to break it to you, but Eve lied to you. We don't know her motivations for lying, but she lied to you.
Unless Eve was her counselor or something like her camp counselor.
Yeah, it's at Sleepaway Camp. I wonder.
Huh.
She says it's her best friend. Which
Yeah, also, I didn't grow up in Maryland. So
Georgia's not that far. I don't know.
Well, people who I hear that people in Maryland, they go to summer camp in Georgia.
Oh,
That's like
okay.
the thing.
It's only like 4 or 5 states away, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not far. The parents just want to put some distance between them for summer. All right, on to some voicemails now. I love this first one. Listen to this.
Oh, so these are not Laura related, right? These are just
No, these are generic voicemails. Spotlight off Laura now.
Finally out of the hot seat.
Hi, Uncle Kaz. This is Jeanne from Quebec, Canada. So sorry for my English accent. After listening to your last podcast, I just wanted to say my opinion about the Who's Gonna Die question. So I've read the Quidditch World Cup article in Pottermore 2 years later, so the first Fantastic Beast was already out, and I realized that there's a chaser in the US team whose name is Kentine Kowalski. So Jacob's not gonna die, except if like someone else is a wizard in his family, but it will be weird. And I don't think that after Queenie he's gonna fall in love again, and certainly not with another witch. So my thought is that Queenie's not gonna die, and we'll get back in the good one at the end. So yeah, thanks for listening.
So yeah, this is a great throwback. We all remember that years ago, J.K. Rowling wrote this whole report from the Quidditch World Cup. It was quote unquote penned by Rita Skeeter. And yeah, there's this line here that says, yet more controversy in Patagonia. The outcome of the USA versus Jamaica clash is under investigation due to the sun collapse, blah, 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 who toppled from her broom shortly before U.S. chaser Quentin Kowalski scored their 9th goal. This could be some foreshadowing that Jacob lives and his son or his grandson ends up going to Hogwarts. Or sorry, not Hogwarts, Ilvermorny.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think this is a great catch, and we know that J.K. Rowling chooses her names fairly carefully. So this would seem to be a gem of hope.
And that name, Quentin? Queenie Quentin?
I didn't think about that.
You're making those connections, Andrew.
Ah, yes, yes. All right. Did I download this one? Yes. Next voicemail.
Hey guys, this is Tatum from Arizona, home of the Thunderbird, apparently. I was just listening to your last episode where you talked about questions from Fantastic Beasts 1 that Crimes of Grindelwald didn't answer, and you brought up Newt's expulsion. I was always under the impression he never was really expelled from Hogwarts. I always took it as some people, like maybe the headmaster at the time and other teachers, were trying to get him expelled, and Dumbledore had so much influence that he convinced the board or ministry or whoever not to expel him. So it was never an official expulsion, and that's why he was still able to graduate, but maybe it was on his record, and that's how Graves was able to find out. I realize this doesn't really answer the burning question of why he would be on trial for expulsion in the first place, but I guess I never really thought that he was expelled officially. I don't know if the scripts or other sources and material contradict this theory, but those are just my thoughts. Thanks for the show, and keep up the good work.
I don't think that contradicts anything. And when I heard this theory, it reminds me of how articles of impeachment can be introduced here in the United States, but that doesn't mean the president is actually getting
Hopefully
impeached.
this year. Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
yeah, I don't know. It's sort of flawed, this image of Newt as kicked out of school. He's a rebel. He didn't make it, when really he seems to be like just a straight up stand up guy, you know, great accomplished wizard. He certainly couldn't have been kicked out too soon because he's like learned magic, you know. I don't, it's all kind of weird to have your hero be kicked out of school and to have that not be addressed, even in extensive backstories of him at Hogwarts as a kid.
Right.
Where it gets kind of challenging when you don't have a book to go back to, because we've gotten so many different pieces of information from different places, and whether it's the first film talking about how he was expelled, or I forget where we learned that it was related to a Jarvie, which is a beast, and it's just we're trying to pull different pieces of information from different places and make it all work together. And when you don't actually have the text to go back to and point to and say this is what happened because J.K. Rowling wrote it, I think it's tough.
Yeah. I guess we could still hear about this in movie 3. It's getting kind of late though to hear about this. I struggle to see how this is going to be relevant going forward or worth mentioning. His proposed expulsion, if it was that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we speculated it would have to do with why he and Dumbledore are so close. Like if Dumbledore kind of throws him a bone or takes the heat off of the incident with the Jarvie, then it could be justified as being a backstory thing in a future film.
Next voicemail.
Hi guys, this is Jillian from Maryland. Pretty new listener, so I'm really enjoying hearing all the theories and everything. I wanted to talk about Queenie a little bit because I feel like her character arc is really important. A lot of people are saying they don't get it and she seems dumb or whatever. I think she's really suffering from some form of depression or trauma. I mean, if we think about everything she's been through in New York, her sister has all but abandoned her. She goes off to Paris. She goes to find her sister. Sister's been lying to her. We don't really know where Queenie's parents are, so we don't know if she has any family support. Then, you know, the love of her life is telling her he doesn't want to be with her. So she's really kind of all alone trying to navigate this really tumultuous time in her life. So to me, I think, you know, she's in a place where she's experiencing more of like fuzzy thinking, which happens a lot with depression and trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder. So I think she probably just doesn't know how to make decisions really well at this point. So Grindelwald comes along and tells her, look, follow me and you'll be safe. And, you know, maybe I can even get you to be with Jacob because we shouldn't be living in the dark, or, you know, whatever he tells her. But obviously this is coming from a bit of a psychological point, but I think it's important. I do think that Queenie's definitely suffered some trauma. So just wondering what you guys thought about that. I think you guys are great. Thanks.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, next voicemail.
Hi, MuggleCast. It's Rochelle. I'm listening to 394, and I wanted to call in right away about the Blood Pact, because I think there were a couple things that I picked up on while watching. So I think that Dumbledore and Grindelwald actually made that pact when they agreed that they were going to go after the Deathly Hallows together, because they don't want to be able to fight each other and have one true master of death. They are supposed to be the masters of death. And what I thought that Dumbledore was seeing in the Mirror of Erised is he's reflecting back to that time when he made that pact, and I think he regrets doing that, and he wants to go back to that time and undo it. And when it's fast forwarding and you're seeing the adult Grindelwald, it actually shows that small little medallion with the that contains the blood pact. And so I think in both circumstances, he's simply seeing those things again, because what he desires most is that medallion so that he can undo what's been done and he can ultimately fight Grindelwald. Thanks. I hope you enjoy it, and talk to you guys again soon.
I buy that. I think I've said something along those lines before. Dumbledore, you know, when you're younger, you make silly decisions. Maybe you don't think them out all the way, or it makes sense at the time, but then as time moves on, you realize that that was a mistake.
Mhm.
So, yeah, but we also spoke recently about at the end of Crimes of Grindelwald, we see Newt say, "Can you destroy this?" And Dumbledore's like, what does he say exactly? Maybe, or I'll try, or something like that.
Something like that.
My script book's right here. I can look it up real quick. But so I don't think there's going to be a big time jump in the next movie because we need to see Dumbledore destroy that because he really is torn up about this blood pact. I don't know.
Agreed. Yeah, I thought it was a very well thought out theory and something I didn't even think of because there was a lot of confusion around him looking into the mirror and seeing that moment because it's supposed to be what your desire is, right? Not necessarily what appeared to be a flashback. So the way that it was laid out, I thought was well done.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm trying to get to it. Are pages stuck together? Where is it? It was deleted from the screenplay.
It's got to be one of the last pages.
I know. That's why I just see Grindelwald. As I continue to look for that, here is another voicemail.
Hi, my name is Corey in Montana, and I was just listening to your most recent podcast, and you were talking about how Accio can only be used on inanimate objects, and that the new movie violated that with Newt Accio-ing the Niffler. And I just was thinking about it, wanted to point out that said Niffler is full of inanimate objects. So to Accio the object inside the Niffler would therefore move the Niffler, therefore not violating any of the rules laid down previously. So give that a thought.
This would work if Newt had said Accio gold coin or something, but he's literally just says Accio Niffler.
It doesn't sound as cool though to be saying Accio gold coin.
Accio all the gold things in that Niffler's pocket.
Yeah.
Because if you remember in the first movie, he actually has to catch him. He can't just Accio him over. And that would have worked in the first film because he's in a jewelry store or some window of a shopping. I don't remember. It was some store, right, that the Niffler's in that he catches him in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he could have just gotten away with that in the first film, but I think they just added it for it to be like a cute moment.
Yeah.
Let's listen to one more voicemail. This concerns Lita.
Hey, MuggleCast. This is Brantley calling from Arkansas. And I had a theory I wanted to run by you guys as I was listening to the last episode and you were discussing how big of a mistake it would be if Lita Lestrange remained alive in the remaining Fantastic Beasts films. Well, I wondered if this might be a way that she could still be existing and it not be a total faux pas. But do you think it's possible that Lita maybe has a Horcrux? Because we see throughout Crimes of Grindelwald that she is very remorseful and feels that she is the direct cause of Corvus's death. Obviously, we see her Bogart being the baby sinking in the water, so we know she feels responsible for that. And even though she did not cast Avada Kedavra, would that remorse be enough to split her soul and then her either intentionally or unintentionally create a Horcrux and then her still be alive? I'm a little fuzzy on how Horcruxes work and how you make them. It's been a while since I've gotten this intense into theorizing about Harry Potter. I'm trying to get back into it, and part of the reason is by listening to your show. So can't wait to hear what you guys think, and thanks for keeping magic alive. Bye.
We have never gotten a clear answer on how a Horcrux is created.
Right.
And we've looked into that, and J.K. Rowling really hasn't said.
But I get the impression that it has to be done with intention. Mm-hmm. Just because of the small glimpse that we got of Tom Riddle trying to figure out, trying to ask Slughorn questions about creating Horcruxes. So to me, that's indicative that there has to be intention behind that. You can't inadvertently create a Horcrux.
Right.
Aside from Harry.
Yeah, Harry was accidental, but Voldemort had done it enough times at that point.
Right.
And killed enough people and was actually killing Harry with the intention of creating a Horcrux later, I think, based on that murder, because it was the murder that proves that he triumphed over the prophecy. So if there was like a pre-ceremony, he already went through those steps, basically, is my read of it. This caller suggests that it's Lita's remorse that creates this Horcrux, but remorse is actually pointed out in the books to heal the soul. One of the few things, in fact, Harry asked Dumbledore if there's any way to undo the damage, and Dumbledore says, yeah, remorse, but it would cause, not only is that not something Voldemort would ever do, but at this point, because of his soul being so mangled, were he to be remorseful and sort of repent and do penance, it would have probably killed him. The pain of it would have killed him.
And I'm not sure how fans would feel about Horcruxes being introduced in this series when they obviously played such a pivotal role in Potter. I'm not saying that Voldemort was the first to make them. Obviously he wasn't, but I feel like that would be a little bit of cheapening the series. Like we've talked about a lot of other things, like time turners. If they show up, everybody's just going to walk out of the theater, it seems like. But
I'm going to burn my stolen cursed child poster.
And if they use Polyjuice Potion to infiltrate the Ministry,
that's a better example.
They do that again in Crimes of Grindelwald. They use Polyjuice Potion to infiltrate the Ministry. Newt turns into his brother.
Yeah, I was going to bring up this point too, Micah. This would be a major retread that I don't want to see. What I love about the Obscurus is that it's entirely new. Give us something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you to everybody who calls in. We listen to all your voicemails. We can't play them all on the show, but we appreciate you calling in and voicing your thoughts. If you want to call in, the number is 1-920-3-MUGGLE. That's 1-920-368-4453. Just please keep your message around a minute. A lot of times we can't play voicemail just because it's too long. And we know you're theorizing and you're getting into it, and we love it, but it's just too long for the show when we want to put in multiple voicemails in addition to everything else we've got to do. So keep it around a minute, please, and thank you. And we get a lot of voicemails, I notice these days, from people who are calling in from the car. Like that one voicemail earlier, we could hear the person with their turn signal on. That cracks me up.
Please be careful when you call into us and leave voicemails.
Yeah, hopefully you're doing that through voice control in your car.
Yeah, hands-free.
Siri, call the MuggleCast hotline. You got us on speed dial. Call Mom. Call MuggleCast. All right, time now for the Dueling Club. We haven't done this in a while. Someone else lead this.
All right. Eric, are we going to pull that clip? You can cut this out, but
yeah. Let's we'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah, just say here are the rules on how to play. Like we played this 200 episodes ago. Here's the rules as discussed.
Okay. So we played the Dueling Club many times on this podcast, but there was one in particular going back 200 episodes that we did with the producer of the Harry Potter film series, David Heyman. And it was myself versus David. And to give listeners a sense who might be listening for the first time or who've come to listen to the show over the last couple of years, we're going to play that clip right now.
Oh man, what a throwback.
I can't believe it was 200 episodes ago. Like what?
It sounds like an eternity.
It really does.
And I always enjoy hearing him say, "Do you want to admit defeat now?" So it was even before we got into the dueling aspect of it, just by the character that he picked.
He was just so sure of it. So today we're going to do Crimes of Grindelwald, new characters in Fantastic Beasts 2 for the Dueling Club segment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how we play is on let's say the count of 3, each of the hosts that are participating are going to name a character at the same time, and hopefully they don't name the same character. But if they do, well, we'll have to play it out because that's just the way it works. Mm-hmm. And then each side is going to then say why they believe their character would defeat the other. And then
Okay.
I guess Eric and I on this first one would determine who the winner is, right? And
Oh
we'll-
yeah, yeah. In
we'll
case of you
rotate.
get to argue it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Andrew and Laura, you are up first. Sorry to put you back in the hot seat, Laura.
That's okay. I'm ready.
All right. So again, these are Crimes of Grindelwald characters.
Got it.
Uh-huh.
All right. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yusuf
Aurelius
Kama.
Dumbledore. Who'd you say, Laura?
I said Yusuf Kama.
Micah's favorite. You stole his.
That's right.
All right. Well, I mean, look, Aurelius Dumbledore, he's a troubled boy, and he has so much pent up rage that his Obscurus can murder anybody very easily. All he has to do is look at Yusuf Kama and say, "What is your purpose in this series? I don't know it." And then Obscurus will burst out of him and kill Yusuf. You want to admit defeat now?
No, well, I mean, the thing about Yusuf is we know that he's willing to go the distance and do whatever needs to be done in order to prove his purpose in the movie, even though that purpose may not yet be clear. We know that he made an unbreakable vow to track Cretans down.
Mhm.
That's some pretty serious magic. I mean, the consequences of breaking an unbreakable vow, are death. So we have to believe that this character is serious about his mission, and I think he would do whatever it took to win this battle.
Yeah.
See, but tracking is good and all, but when it's a fight, Aurelius Dumbledore can kick butt. I mean, he's now got Grindelwald on his side. He will learn very, very powerful magic if he doesn't already have it already.
Yeah, but Yusuf is also Leta Lestrange's half brother. And we know the Lestranges are a really powerful pureblood family. So I think that by virtue of their connection, this is indicative of his abilities, and he would probably be able to overcome Aurelius.
But please also remember that we are talking about an alleged Dumbledore here, and Albus is one of the greatest wizards of all time. Surely Aurelius is one of the greatest as well.
Yeah, but we are talking about a Lestrange adjacent character here. I give up. There's no way. I'm sorry, Yusuf. I tried to make your presence make sense, but
it's fine. You're working with what we got.
I don't know, Micah. It sounds like Laura conceded.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
What the hell, Laura?
If she had just not done that, I would have said, "Oh, maybe it's a standoff, maybe it's a tie." But congratulations, Andrew.
Oh, thank you very much. I didn't even get to my bad haircut point.
What was the bad haircut point?
People with bad haircuts are very crazed, and I feel like he would do whatever it took in his crazy mind to defeat Yusuf. He might get physical or something. I don't know.
Edgy, dangerous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'd surprise attack him like a body slam with a body slam or something. All right, Eric and Micah, it's your turn now.
Okay.
So on the count of 3, both of you say a character, and I think the rule here should be we're not repeating characters. Is that
correct?
Fair? Okay. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Nicholas Flamel.
Flamel and Grimson?
Yeah. I'll make this quick, short, and sweet. Flamel is so frail that Grimson could find a way to either, if not kill him, because he has the Sorcerer's Stone, whatever, to imprison him for a very long time, that in some way that Flamel could not escape. Grimson would definitely overcome Flamel in a physical show of force and probably in magic.
Flamel has 600 years of experience here. I don't even think Grimson stands a chance.
But Grimson, think about how well Grimson did against Cretans. We were just talking about Aurelius's power, and Grimson's just creates a shield charm that repels this ridiculously powerful Obscurus. We've never seen it before. Grimson knows how to do that. So I think that whatever Flamel can throw at him from 600 years, I don't know how good his memory is, by the way. because we know that the elixir of life isn't youth preserving. I think Grimson would overcome. I just think he would. I think he's resourceful and agile and youthful and strong.
Don't put anything past Flamel. Look what he did in the graveyard.
Yep.
What did he do in the graveyard exactly?
He saved
ran.
their asses.
And that.
He just kind of instructed them. They all had to put the wands down. That wasn't his magic. It was all of theirs.
But it was his idea. Flamel can definitely outsmart Grimson.
What do you guys think? Impartial judges?
I would just, I'm going to give it to Micah because Flamel, he can't compete with Flamel. Like Micah said right at the start, he's got 600 years of experience. Plus, I'm also thinking he can surprise you. Like, we didn't think he'd be able to run. One moment he's all hunched over, very frail, waddling around. And then the next moment he's running around town, saving the day. So I'm going to give it to Micah and Flamel.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give it to Micah and Flamel as well. Eric, not to say that you didn't do a great job. I just think that the odds were stacked against you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Uphill battle.
Man, it's safe picking an immortal character for the Dueling Club.
All right. Now it's Laura and Eric's turn.
Yes.
Okay.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Nagini.
Ooh. Nagini versus the Zuwu.
Can I just say that I think they would actually be friends? They both come from the circus. They've both been imprisoned. I think that this is a situation where if they had to face off against battle, they'd just kind of be like, let's go grab a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Probably, but this is the Dueling Club, so we have to decide who would win. I think Nagini is the obvious choice, and unfortunately, this is a case where we have a lot of information on Nagini because of the Harry Potter books. We know what she's capable of and what she's done. The Zuwu, it's kind of cute, I don't think it's much of a match for Nagini.
The Zuwu could outrun Nagini. The Zuwu is capable of leaping great distances in a single bound, like Superman. And I think that Nagini would never catch the Zuwu.
But is running away winning a duel?
Yeah, evading a predator is how you live, girl. Is how you survive.
But it's a duel.
Well, if it had to it's also got teeth and stuff. We just didn't see it in battle because Newt is a pacifist, but I think that the Zuwu is really a terrifying creature.
I don't think it looked super terrifying. Nagini, on the other hand, those fangs. You look at her bringing, an end to Snape. You look at how she behaved at Bathilda Bagshot's house. You look at all of her experience with Voldemort over the years. She is a volatile creature.
You know what's funny, though? Just this mental image I have of Nagini trying to swallow the Zuwu. Like a Zuwu shaped probably one of the most painful dinners, and Nagini would choke. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Nagini could not consume the Zuwu, and the Zuwu would get the last laugh.
I mean, large snakes like that are capable of consuming really large things. It's very surprising. I mean, they can unhinge their jaws in order to accommodate the ingestion of animals larger than themselves.
Yes, but not a city bus. Not a city bus sized animal.
Yeah, but she's also a magic snake. Right? It's not like she's a normal python or boa constrictor. I mean, she's she used to be a person.
All right. Well, why don't we stop there? I think Eric set himself up for failure again. I just feel like Nagini is really powerful here and would win. So I'll have to give it to Laura.
Oh man.
I
I'm so rusty.
Oh. I mean,
no, you know what, Eric? I appreciate you because you go into this picking the underdog. You make a very strong case.
What I'm not supposed to do. I didn't know Grimson would be the underdog. He's super accomplished. He beat Credence in a fight. I mean, come on. Nobody does that. So, and the Zuwu's got its size and can run away. I don't know. Micah and Andrew, it is your turn.
Oh man, I'm really torn on what to do here, but
All right.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and then go. 1, 2, 3.
Bunty.
Theseus. Bunty.
Theseus
I win.
and
I don't even need to
Bunty.
explain.
Take off your shirt.
Theseus or me?
Both of you.
So look, Theseus, we know he's a very skilled wizard who works for the ministry. He's been tasked with going after Grindelwald. And sure, his brother beat him to finding Grindelwald. But we know that since he did have this assignment, he has a lot of experience under his belt and is probably equipped to fight such a terrifying wizard. So I feel that he could easily defeat Bunty, who really is just an animal caretaker. She doesn't have much experience outside of Newt's suitcase, which is kind of sad and creepy. Hopefully Newt isn't holding her there captive. So I think Theseus is very powerful. Bunty has yet to prove herself, and he would win.
Micah?
Bunty has all that experience taking care of those magical creatures. She probably would even use them to her advantage in a duel against somebody like Theseus. Despite his accomplishments, maybe she could even trick Theseus into Newt's apartment, saying that something terrible had happened to Newt. So I think she could be a little bit on the cunning side, maybe not using magic at the start, but tricking him into a situation where, if he's in that basement, who knows what can happen? There's a lot of beasts down there.
I gotta say, Micah, I think this social engineering angle that you're taking is really intriguing.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Well, I have nothing else to say, so.
Me neither.
Who won?
I'm gonna have to give it to Micah and Bunty.
Yeah.
She's a surprise upset.
Yeah.
I was going to use Lita, so that would have actually been an interesting one.
Oh, yeah.
And Eric, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel the same way, mostly because you forgot to mention that Theseus is an Auror. You said he works for the ministry and that he was tracking Grindelwald, but you didn't lead with he's a freaking Auror, baby.
Yeah.
I
was actually thinking of going with Lita too. Micah would have been a draw.
Oh, yeah.
All right, on to Muggle Mail now. This is from Nicole. Good morning. I was just listening to your last episode of 2018 and reminded me I wanted to email you. For Christmas, I received a bunch of Harry Potter gifts, including the illustrated books 1 through 3, Harry Potter inspired makeup brushes, and this book called Random Harry Potter Facts You Probably Didn't Know, 154 fun facts from the Harry Potter series. Many of them I was aware of, but one really stood out to me. Fact number 82. Voldemort drank bad love potion when he was young and was incapable of feeling love. What? This is not true. I was completely outraged, but try explaining yourself to a room full of muggles that the reason Voldemort is incapable of love is because he was convinced while his muggle father was under the influence of a love potion. I don't know who came up with this bad love potion theory. Anywho, your podcast was the first thing I thought of, and I had to share this.
Yeah, what the hell?
He drank bad love potion.
They must have misinterpreted something that they read online when they were writing this book, I guess.
Yeah, and who fact checks these things?
Pottermore.
I think this is a classic mix-up because Tom Riddle Sr. drank love potion when he was young-ish. Mm-hmm. And that is loosely the reason, J.K. Rowling has said that is loosely the reason that Tom Riddle Jr., aka Voldemort, cannot feel or understand love, is that he was conceived under duress under the love potion. So
that makes more sense. It's probably what was meant to be printed, but they definitely need some fact checking because I'm guessing there's probably a few other things in those 154 fun facts that are not correct.
Yeah,
this book has averages a 4-star, has 4 stars on Amazon. So some people are liking it, but why does this book need to exist? Like, this is just a cheap money grab, and Warner Brothers should shut it down.
They'll shut it down and then print it themselves.
This next email is from Emily. I've been catching up over the holidays and was listening to Sluggy Bear this morning. I listen often while running, and when y'all were discussing how out of character it is for Hermione to have not only broken the rules during the Gryffindor Quidditch tryouts, but also to have been so cavalier about doing so, I found myself really compelled to say that I think it's primarily for Ron and due to her feelings for him that she is okay with it at her core, not self-servingly to avoid dealing with Ron's whining. Y'all may have talked about this more since Sluggy Bear, so sorry if I'm being redundant. As you might guess, Ron and Hermione are my two favorite characters, and I'm a proud puff through and through, forever focused on relationships, matters of the heart, and how they make us tick. Love the show, and you guys, thanks for doing what you do.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Love makes you do crazy things. And that was what was happening there. Yep. It always blows my mind how J.K. Rowling can be so aware of how love and other things can affect people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
When she was growing up, I guess a lot of that just stuck with her. I feel like I would forget what happens.
Yeah, same.
Laura, do you want to read the next email?
Sure. This next one comes from Sydney. Sydney says, "Hey guys, I was watching Deathly Hallows Part 2 recently and noticed that when some of the Death Eaters are trying to run through the protective enchantments around Hogwarts, they sort of burn up and become little blue pieces. Do you guys think that magic could be similar to the magic of the Grindelwald Ring of Fire from the latest Fantastic Beasts movie? I have a feeling it's likely just a coincidence or a movieism, but would still love to hear your takes."
I would say coincidence, because when they did that in the movie, in the Harry Potter movies, they probably weren't consulting J.K. Rowling on what that's supposed to look like, I would assume. Whereas there's a better chance they were consulting J.K. Rowling for what it's supposed to look like in Fantastic Beasts. There's a better chance. I don't know if it's true, but
Deathly Hallows Part 2 really made use of 3D technology. So it was like, we must have all of these characters explode so that in the 3D movies, there's like little pieces of stuff flying out at the audience. That's why that happened. I don't think there was canon.
Didn't Andrew, didn't you say that in the script book, the blue flame is actually a black flame?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I did find it in the screenplay. Dumbledore says about the blood pact, maybe I can destroy it.
Oh.
But yeah, it is a different color in the book, I think.
Yeah. So even then, there's a little bit of difference.
But
a black flame would not look good on screen.
No.
It's certainly possible, though, that Deathly Hallows Part 2 informed that scene in Crimes of Grindelwald. Like, they could have borrowed some of that idea and used it.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and let's not forget that Grindelwald uses a blue flame to repel the Aurors at the beginning of the first Fantastic Beasts movie as well.
Mm-hmm. Grindelwald throws a large burst of black fire at them both. Page 259.
Oh.
Next email. Guys, I got to pee really bad. What does that spell again? Because I don't want to get up.
Evanesco.
Oh, Evanesco.
Evanesco.
Did it work?
Yes, and Brooklyn is running over here right now. Just in time.
He thinks it's time to go.
I'm teaching him bad habits. Wait, I shouldn't be doing this in here.
Our last email comes from Margarita Gabriela Sosa, and subject line, "The Prophecies of Tycho Don Grindy." Hi, MuggleCast. Happy New Year. I'm writing a couple of thoughts I had after rewatching Crimes of Grindelwald. Firstly, a box office one. My first viewing was on the opening Friday. Although there were people, the theater wasn't completely full. My second viewing was the Saturday night before Christmas, and it was completely packed. If Warner Brothers wants to make money on opening weekends, maybe moving the releases of future films closer to Christmas would be a good idea. The other thing concerns Tycho Dodonis. Is it possible that Grindelwald published the book under a pen name, and the predictions are in fact his? In the wall behind Tina, where Yusuf takes her, there appears to be some writing that could be the prophecies. Besides going to Paris for credence, maybe Grindelwald returned there because he had already established connections and followers, like Rosier, who appears to be his most loyal follower and is French, and wrote the prophecies when he was younger, maybe when he met Dumbledore. I was also wondering if he needs the skull hookah to fortify his seer abilities, or is it simply a tool to show others his visions? Thank you for everything you do. Looking forward to a year filled with fantastic discussions.
The Christmas point is interesting, but some big films are scheduled around Christmas. I know Disney likes to put a big movie there, so that might be hard for them to do.
Yeah.
I like the Tycho thing. It could also be inspired by true events, like J.K. Rowling writing as Robert Galbraith.
That's a good connection.
Yeah. So that would be fun. I definitely agree that the prophecy is probably written on that board or on that wall in the movie. That thing was like a dry erase board to me, where they were kind of like organizing all the information that they know.
Yeah. I wonder why we didn't get a closer look at it. Could this possibly be the reason, or one of the reasons why? Because if you remember from the trailers, there was definitely a shot of somebody, probably Yusuf, very close up staring at the wall.
Yeah.
Definitely. I am so I just there's definitely more going on in these films than even the camera is pointing at or taking time to address.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm not sure about the skull hookah, but it was destroyed, wasn't it?
It bounced, I think. I don't know that it necessarily broke, but yeah, it was hit by a spell that I think Lita shot.
Okay, well, thank you to everybody who wrote in. You can, if you want to write in, we have the contact form on mugglecast.com, or you can email us directly, mugglecast@gmail.com. So time now for our answer to the last Quizzitch question of 2018 and our first of 2019.
Yep, here we go. Last year's question of Quizzitch. Graduates of the Magic School Wagadu are particularly skilled in these subjects: self-transfiguration, astronomy, and what? The correct answer was alchemy. And that is available, the information on wizarding schools across the world on Pottermore. The answer is alchemy, and the people who got that correct were Carolyn, Henry, Christian, Tia, Colleen, William Walton, Amy Semensky, Kay Wolfing, Asim, Chris Ponder, Charlie, Father of Dragons, Gabrielle, Sarah Davis, Robbie Stillman, Amber, Sarah, and our friend, where in the world is Kevin Stackiego, who has now updated their profile picture and cover photo on Twitter to be a very convincing Carmen Sandiego / former MuggleCast host Kevin Steck mashup photo. So
yeah, it's kind of freaking me out.
It works well. His head fits well. His face fits well on Carmen's head, I feel.
Yeah, I don't know where this person is going with this, but we do tend to spend some time shouting out people with funny profile names when they play Quizzitch. Next week's question, though, is one based on some of the information we were talking about earlier on today's episode. Which Slytherin student prevented the Chamber of Secrets from being discovered?
Yes, a bathroom question. I was hoping you would.
This person is named. They do have a name, and it's a familiar name. So,
okay,
here we go.
Well, we're not finished yet. We have a chicken soup now. This is from Sarosh. They put in a pronunciation guide, and I still can't get it. Sarosh. There we go. It says age 2. I feel like this person is not actually.
Well, this was 6 years ago, so they're 8 years old now.
No, but here's the contents of the email. Dear Smugglecasters, I've been a long-time listener of the show, so doubt they're actually 2, and I've considered countless time to write in a chicken soup to you guys, but never got the chance. You've probably heard it a million times before, but you have no idea how much you all mean to me and how the hour of the show that you put up simply lights my world up for a brief spell of time. You've helped me through the stars and joys of moving to a new country, of graduating, of friendships, loss, and gained, and most in all, man, I'm fucking this up. Let me try this again. I've been a longtime listener of the show and have considered countless times to write in a chicken soup to you guys, but never really got the chance. You've probably heard it a million times before, but you have no idea how much you all mean to me and how the hour of the show that you put up simply lights my world up for a brief spell of time. You've helped me through the sorrows and joys of moving to a new country, of graduating, of friendships lost and gained, and most of all, the grief over the end of the phenomenal era of Harry Potter, which we all have been fortunate enough to be a part of. Like a lot of people out there, I've always found it hard to let go of things I love, which is probably why my old Harry Potter posters are still up on my wall. Hey, do you want a Cursed Child one? And while I still listen to your show almost every night before falling asleep. You guys are my link to the past and every good memory associated with it. This may be a bit over dramatic, but please know that you always will have one devoted, obsessed fan in the world, even years down the road. Lots of love and best of luck. Thank you, Savrosh.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
And I know we wanted to get in a chicken soup for this 400th installment. That's why we're patting ourselves on the back.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, that was a copying error on my part. They were 21 when they wrote that.
Ah. Well, now please write in because you did say you would always listen. So we want to make sure you're always listening 6 years later.
We deliberately didn't read this in 2012. He's like, we're going to test them. Yeah.
Yeah. And answer the quizzes question for us. Are you on Twitter? All right. And finally, another segment throwback. Crackpot theory of the week.
All right.
Micah, why don't you read this for us? You sound primed and ready to go.
All right. Here we go. Credence is a oh, wow. I might have to ask Laura for the pronunciation here.
Dirty word.
Homunculus?
Homunculus.
Close
Homunculus.
enough. Credence is a homunculus.
I'm gonna say homunculus. Yeah.
Homunculus. Okay. All right. This crackpot theory comes from Alyssa Rice, and it is that Credence is a homunculus. Hi, Mogulcast. I have a pretty long theory to shell out. I was in my car in the drive-through line at Sonic listening to episode 395 when I had a light bulb go off in my head about Credence/Aurelius. In episode 395, Doug and Nicole, the classics majors, emailed regarding Credence, and they comment on how they believe Grindelwald is lying about Credence's identity. And I agreed. They mentioned how Aurelius derives from the Latin word gold, and Credence is seen as Grindelwald's golden boy. This is what set my brain into research mode. It made me hypothesize the possibility that Credence is a product of alchemy, that Credence is actually a I can't do it.
Homunculus.
That Credence is actually a homunculus. Hear me out. Credence is searching so desperately for the truth to his lineage, but maybe the truth is that he was not birthed in the same way as you and me. I know it sounds crazy. There are a lot of things about this idea that I can't actually answer because I'm not an alchemist, but homunculi are mentioned in other fantasy universes in different ways. So who's to say that J.K. Rowling has a version of a homunculi with her own set of alchemic rules? I was actually inspired by the rules of alchemy founded in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, a 2009 anime based off the manga, which began publishing in 2001. I believe that introducing Nicholas Flamel in the Fantastic Beasts Crimes of Grindelwald is a big deal and a sign that there is more alchemy to come. After thinking it through, I don't think the brief glimpse we saw of the stone in the film was simply an Easter egg for moviegoers and pop. What we know of the Philosopher's Stone is that it can create the elixir of life, but it can also build upon life and, for the sake of my argument, create life. In alchemy, gold is portrayed as a perfect metal. Thus, Aurelian equates to perfect human, which makes him a golden being to Grindelwald. Therefore, Credence, in this theory, is a byproduct of alchemy created by Dumbledore and Grindelwald in their attempts to become the Masters of Death. What better way to master death than to create a golden being that is immortal and thus able to withstand the destruction of an Obscurus? I use the word immortal in quotes because I don't necessarily think that he is a true immortal being, but if he is a homunculus created from the Philosopher's Stone, then it is possible that he is infused with parts of the stone, that the part of the stone that was infused with him is part of his magical core. In this way, he is not completely immortal, can still age, he's just very hard to kill. This could explain why he is able to withstand the power of an Obscurus and why he has as much power as he does. Going off this theory, I also think that the blood pact that Dumbledore and Grindelwald made wasn't a form of magic by the likes we know of in the Potterverse, but as a form of alchemy. It's possible that Dumbledore says he might be able to destroy the blood pact because he'll eventually need Nicholas Flamel's assistance due to his expertise in alchemy.
Wow.
There's a summary there as well if you want me to read it, but I think
it's probably all right.
all of those points by Alyssa, that's very, 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 very well thought through. And I'm glad I didn't have to say homunculus again.
You did.
That was so long. I actually went to the bathroom and came back while you were reading that.
Well, in case you missed something, there's something going on with alchemy. And
I read it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm good. This would help. First of all, I agree with Micah. It's very well thought out, and I agree. This would help explain why Flamel is in this series. I mean, it would make perfect sense.
Yeah,
it would be interesting to see if he's also planning to appear in the next movie as we start to get, casting information for it. And then, Eric, your Quizzitch question, I know, was about the magical school in Brazil, and that is where we're going next, according to J.K. Rowling.
Yes.
And that one of the skills that is taught at that school is alchemy.
Gee, you almost as if I knew where that was headed. But
very
yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And J.K. Rowling's name choices, again, Aurelius being of gold in Latin, the golden boy. Grindelwald also refers to him several times in the film as my boy, as if he created him in a lab with Albus. So there's definitely the Hogwarts professor, John Granger, and YouTube. There's an article I found. If you search Fantastic Beasts and Homunculus, you'll get a little bit more into the weeds theorizing. But I think it's possible that Dumbledore and Grindelwald created a person either to house Ariana's Obscurus, to sort of keep it at bay, or for some other purposes, maybe due to their connection to each other, they somehow created a human being, and that human being is Credence. It would make Credence not Dumbledore's brother, but sort of like his kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, pretty weird, but looking at how other series like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood utilize alchemy to in their stories to do these crazy things with science. It's not that far-fetched. It doesn't seem far-fetched at all for something like this to have occurred.
Everything seems to be coming together, converging for that third movie. Brazil, Flamel, Aurelius.
And through no help of J.K. Rowling, by the way. No, nobody's talking about this. Nobody,
well, through the help of some very observant listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, on that note, thank you everybody for listening. Special shout out to everybody who has helped us reach this landmark episode. It's still so hard to believe that we've done 400 of these now. We would not be weekly or even twice monthly right now if it weren't for our patrons. So thank you to everybody who supports us at patreon.com/MuggleCast. We have lots of benefits there. If you pledge today, you will get access to many of them, including a bonus MuggleCast recorded during this week's episode. We also stream each recording live. We're sending out a physical gift every year. You have early access to our show notes. We have an exclusive Facebook group. You can participate in a discussion topic. Like this week, we had questions for Laura. There's a lot going on there. We have a really great, very active community at patreon.com/MuggleCast, and we'll be introducing some new benefits and such there this year. I mean, it 2018 was a really great year for MuggleCast. The new album art, our Patreon growing. We had tons of support. We welcomed a lot of new listeners. We welcomed a new co-host. And we have every reason to think that 2019 is going to be an equally great year. So, Laura, it's great to have you back. You did fantastic. I think we'll keep you.
Oh, boy.
What if after recording we were like, Laura, I don't know. know.
Well, we already agreed to
The
my
paperwork has been
presents for this
signed.
year, so paperwork's been done.
Except there is no paperwork except for like a few emails. So,
Well, it would hold up in court, I think.
look at these Gmails. Look at these. This is as good as a contract. No, I'm kidding. Oh, you did fantastic, and we're so glad to have you back on.
I'm glad to be back.
Good. Everything's great. Everything is freaking great.
I know.
Pottermore's tweeting about going to the bathroom. I think that was a great start to the new year. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Just a plug again for MuggleCast.com. All of the information you need concerning the show can be found there. We have a complete episode archive. Ooh, by the way, here's a fun addition. We are now available on Pandora. If you use Pandora, check us out there. They have a new podcast section, and we are a part of that. We're actually hoping that that's going to bring in a lot of new listeners as well, because Pandora is making recommendations to people there. And if Pandora knows you like Harry Potter, maybe because you listen to the Harry Potter soundtracks on there, I don't know, you will get a recommendation for MuggleCast. So check us out over on Pandora. And let's see. No matter where you listen, if you could leave a review for us, if that feature is available in your podcasting app, we would really appreciate that. iTunes, I don't know, whichever podcast app you use. Do they let you review podcasts? Leave a review for us, however brief. We would really appreciate it.
Definitely.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. I'm Andrew.
I'm Eric.
Micah.
And I'm Laura.
See everybody next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I think that went great.
Yeah, me too.
Good
What do we
stuff.
Stop.
What do we call it, and what's going to bonus or not?
PP.
We can't. We
No.
can't. It's too
I'm
intrinsically
kidding.
linked. Yeah. I'd love to, but
So for bonus, maybe the emails?
like the recent emails.
Yeah, the Muggle Mail, section 7 in the doc.
I mean, we could.
The vintage emails mentioning Laura, I would say one of those two things.
Ooh, then.
Because the crackpot theory, that was an email, so that would still be in the main show.
Yeah.
We also didn't intro it as "Welcome to Bonus MuggleCast," but
That's all right.
yeah. All right.
I mean, the only one that may be good for like the main show is the one from Gabrielle Sosa. But otherwise, I think the Muggle Mail can go to bonus.
See the.
I don't think that's necessary for the main show.
Okay.
Was there any reason you're saying that? Other like
No.
Okay. Well, I'll
I
move.
vote-
Yeah, I'll move the second mail segment. So number 7 in the doc. I'll move that to bonus.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That works out.
Yeah.
I just created episode 400 folder. audio.
Perfect.
Yay. All
This
right,
is-
y'all. Good
yeah.
show.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
What do we
Absolutely.
name it? I know it's a little early, but
Something related to shit. I mean, it's only
not shitty.
How about I could do some sort of play on Pottermore.
Or you could do something about like poo.
Pipes.
I like that.
Poo. Goodbye. Who
Or
needs
Evanesco.
What?
Evanesque. Yeah. The spell.
Yeah, you could do Evanesco.
That'd be cool.
Sure. Yeah, one of those things I think is fine.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody upload your file. Oh, Andrew, if the first 10 minutes of my recording, I had a fan going. Classic
okay.
rookie mistake.
All right. Well, I will listen carefully,
Mhm.
and I doubt it'll be a problem. But
Yeah, I appreciate
I'll
the
take a
noise
look at
reduction.
that first
Yeah,
10 minutes versus the rest.
I'll upload ASAP. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
See you. Bye. Can't wait.
Bye.